مجمع الأندلس التعليمي، تعلم عصري ملهم بهوية وطنية وقيم إسلامية.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Hello grade 8 students, once again welcome back. This is my third and final video for week 16. Hope you will get the most value of it. So kindly requested to open your students book page 105, grammar 8D. So our topic today is the object subject question. Object subject question. So before going through the object subject question, I'd like to have a quick revision on the question tag. Now this is you in the photo, isn't, or is it, or it is. This is you in the photo, isn't, or is it, or it is. Yes, this is your photo, you in the photo, isn't, or is it. Okay, now question number 2. We didn't miss the flight, did we? We did or didn't we? Yes. Did we? Now, starter. You've got to spot the difference between these two pictures. You have got 30 seconds to look at these two pictures and spot the differences in them. Quite simple and easy for you to identify. Now, let's review our learning objectives for today's lesson. The first objective of today's lesson is to use the subject-object question in a meaningful context correctly. And the second one is to speak fluently about different situations using subject-object questions. Now, my students, subject-object question. Who cleaned the room? What did the man buy? Note the difference between these two types of questions. Who cleaned the room? What did the man buy? Now my students, sometimes the answer to a question is not the object, but the subject. The subject is number 1 in the simple sentence structure. Okay, subject questions, we have a different structure. Question word plus the verb plus the object. Who wrote Hamlet? The answer is Shakespeare. Shakespeare wrote Hamlet. So this is a subject question. Since we started the question word plus the verb plus the object. Now let's have a quick look at the right hand side question, subject question. Who loves you? My mom loves me. Who saw you? Who saw you? My grandparents saw me. Who is waiting for you? Nobody is waiting for me. What's blocking the road? A lorry. A lorry is blocking the road. What caused the accident? The storm caused the accident. Who ate an apple? Your sister. So you notice that the answer all answers include the subject. So that's called the subject questions. Subject questions. So we start with the question word, then the verb, and the answer is the subject. We are targeting the subject. Okay. Now, when we use the subject or object to a subject question and object to subject questions, when we use the question word who, which, or what to ask about the subject of the verb, we form the question without auxiliary verb. Who or what plus the verb in the affirmative form. Who saw the accident? Tom saw the accident. What happened outside? An accident. An accident is the subject. Okay, what happened outside? An accident. Okay, which boy is your neighbor? The blonde boy is my neighbor. So all these are considered to be subject questions. Now, what about the second type? That's the object questions. When we use the question word who, which, and what to ask about the object of the verb, we form the questions with auxiliary verb. Who, which, or what below the verb in the question form. What did you see at the restaurant? I saw Tom and June. What are you eating? I'm eating Chinese food. Which shirt did you prefer? I prefer the blue shirt. Which shirt did you prefer? I prefer the blue shirt. Now, we use an auxiliary or a helping verb after WH question what, why, or where, how, and when. For example, where is the bathroom? What is your name? What's the man next to you? Who is the man next to you? What did she leave? What did she leave? Why did she leave so early? How are you feeling today? Now, don't use an auxiliary verb after who or which or what if they are the subject of the sentence. Who called you? My father called me. My father is the subject here. Which man is your father? What day is the party? Now, open kindly go back to student's book, page 105, exercise A, grammar. Read the extract from the third dialogue in lesson 1 below and choose the correct question. Then listen to the dialogue again and check your answers. Who did you give the towel to? Who gave you the towel? Mrs. Smith gave it to me. Now read the examples below and answer the questions. What damaged the roof? The storm damaged the roof. What did the storm damage? The storm damaged the roof. Now you've got to read the examples below and answer the question. Number 1. Which question asks about the subject of the verb? Of course, it is question number 1. What damaged the roof? The storm. The storm is the subject. Number 2. Which question asks about the object of the verb? Definitely it is question number 2. What did the storm damage? The storm damaged the roof. The roof is not the storm is the subject, damaged the verb, and the roof is the object. Number 3. The storm damaged the roof. Question number 3. In which question is the verb in the question form? Of course, it is in question number 2. What did the storm damage? It is in the question form. Now, my students, write questions with the words in bold. Write question. The words in bold are the answers. Number 1. Number 1. That's exercise C, where students book page 105. My brother broke the glass. The question is, who broke the glass? Of course, you know it's the subject question. It is the subject question. Okay. Number 2. I used some rope to climb the tree. What did you use to climb the tree? It is an object question. I invited Lucy and Jane to dinner. Who did you invite to dinner? Of course, Lucy and Jane. An object question. Animated films make me laugh. What makes you laugh? It is a subjective question. Since it's the beginning of the sentence, the simple sentence structure, the simple sentence structure begins with the subject. And animated films make me laugh. I called my cousin earlier. Who did you call earlier? Now, my students, now look at these answers and try to complete the question. Ahmed broke the vase, right? Who broke the vase? Or the vase, sometimes it's a vase or a vase. Both are correct. Who broke the vase or who broke the vase? Both ways of pronunciation both ways of pronunciation are correct. Number 2, Jack saw lice. Yes, who saw Alice? Who saw Alice? Jack. Number 3, I ate pasta last day. Yes, what did you eat? Now, my students, now subject versus object question. Subject question. A subject question, this is a summary of our lesson for today. A subject question asks about the subject of the sentence. Don't change the word of order of the question. Gina is fixing the computer. Yes, number 1. Who is fixing the computer? Of course, it is Gina. An accident happened last week. What happened last week? An accident. Okay. Now for the object question. An object question asks about the object of the sentence. You must change the word order of the sentence. Gina met Mary. Who did Gina meet? Who did Gina meet? Frank saw an accident. What did Frank see? By this, we come to the end of our video. Hope it is beneficial and useful for you. Thank you for listening and have a good day.
مجمع الأندلس التعليمي، تعلم عصري ملهم بهوية وطنية وقيم إسلامية.